An urgent open letter to President TINUBU by Valentine Ozigbo. Your Excellency, I woke up this morning with a weight that has become far too familiar to millions of Nigerians. The ache that comes from watching a nation we love slip repeatedly into cycles of violence, fear, and preventable tragedy. I ask your pardon for making this an open letter. I do so only because I fear that a private communication may never reach you, and the matters I raise here touch the very heart of our national interest and the future of our country. In recent days, we have witnessed schoolchildren abducted in Kebbi, worshippers murdered in Kwara, commuters seized on our highways, and a senior military officer cut down by bandits. These are not just headlines. They are open wounds on the conscience of our republic. I write not in anger, but in fidelity to a country that has given me everything: identity, purpose, and faith. And I write to you because you occupy the only office constitutionally empowered to steady our nation's ship at a time of gathering storms. The presidency is never an easy burden, but history often calls individuals to rise above the noise of politics and embrace the quiet courage of leadership. Today, Nigerians are wrestling with questions no citizen of a functioning state should ever have to ask. Is sorrow enough? Is silence wise? Is protest futile? Is hope naive? In times like this, nations look to their leaders not merely for explanations, but for direction. As Harry Truman famously said, "The buck stops here." That responsibility with all its weight rests with you. Below, I offer 5 thoughts, not as criticism, but as earnest counsel from one citizen to another, from one leader to another, both of us tied to the same destiny. 1. A decisive national campaign against insecurity. Nigeria does not lack brave men and women in uniform. We do not lack intelligence. We do not lack equipment. What we lack, painfully and visibly, is unified, unmistakable political will. We know where these criminals hide. We know the networks that feed them. We know their local collaborators and their powerful patrons. Sir, a nation cannot negotiate with those who have chosen war against civilization. Draw the red line. Read the Riot Act. Make it clear that no title, no immunity, no foreign interest will shield anyone who sponsors or protects terror. Leadership, at its core, is moral clarity, and moral clarity is always an act of courage. 2. The silence of those who should speak. Your Excellency, a nation survives not only by the strength of its government, but by the courage of its moral voices. Yet today, far too many of those voices are silent. Elders who once spoke boldly, faith leaders who once carried the nation's conscience, and statesmen and women who once stood as guardians of our unity. Their silence is costly and dangerous. It isolates your government, weakens national resolve, and emboldens those who thrive in chaos. As Martin Luther King Jr. warned, in the end, we will remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends. And Pastor Niemuller's haunting reflection reminds us of the consequence of apathy. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak for me. Sir, only the President can awaken this moral army. Only you can call them to stand again, to speak again, and to remind Nigerians that we are a people worth fighting for. Silence is not neutrality. Silence is surrender, and your leadership can break it. 3. A structural solution, the Orange Union model. Your government has taken important steps toward decentralization, including local government autonomy. But Nigeria's crisis is more profound than any single reform can reach. From my engagements with scholars, statesmen and women, and global experts, the Orange Union model, championed by the Fatherland group, emerges as one of the most coherent pathways for a 21st century Nigeria.